What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing my 2021-2022 NFL season predictions. And with the NFL season coming up, and in about 1 week, the NFL games will be starting. So I thought, why not do my NFL predictions? I did these earlier, but I decided I want to wait for some things to pan out, and I'm going to be doing them now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you do, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And without any further ado, let's get into the video. To start it off, we're going to be going over the AFC, and then we'll do the NFC, and then we'll do the playoffs. Starting off with the Chiefs getting the 1 seed, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The Chiefs do not have a particularly hard schedule, playing the easiest division in football for their NFC opponents. And then for the AFC opponents, not a lot. I mean, they're playing the NFC North, I believe. So I think they'll be able to pretty easily go 15-2. I think the Chargers will give them a hard time in Week 15, and then I think the Broncos will have a trap game against them. I think the Chiefs will not be ready. Ignore the Week 20; that's just kind of a glitch. But I think in Week 18, the Chiefs aren't going to be playing many starters. They're going to pretty much have a lock on the conference. So the they're going to perform at a high level. The defense is going to be able to shut down Mahomes. I think the Broncos will be able to shut down the Chiefs. And I think it will be a upset. And I think the Broncos will win, a lot like how the Raiders defeated them last season. And then the Bills, the 2 seed. The Bills, another easy schedule for a good team. I mean, the NFL can't be having the Bills, Chiefs, and Buccaneers all having easy schedules. It just isn't fair. I really only see them losing to the Chiefs, Bucs, and Patriots. The Chiefs are just going to be too good this year, and they're such a great regular season team. They always perform in the regular season at a high level. The Bucs know how to beat. Tom Brady knows how to beat the Bills, and he's going to tell everyone he's going to prepare for the Bills. And Tom Brady, no matter what, he's going to always know how to beat the Bills. So he'll do it once again on a better team than he was in New England. And I think if you think about it, last year, New England nearly defeated the Bills in their first matchup. They got slaughtered in the second matchup. But in the first matchup, Cam Newton fumbled on the 18-yard line, causing them to lose the game. If it wasn't for that, Patriots would have probably marched down the field, scored a touchdown, and won the game. I think the Patriots, with a more improved roster and possibly a better quarterback in Mac Jones, I think they'll be able to pull it off and win in Week 16. But I think they'll also they won't sweep them, of course, because the Bills will definitely beat the Patriots at least once. Titans in the third spot. This is going to surprise a lot of people. But I just think the Titans, they're really well-rounded. People will discredit their defense, but I think their defense just wasn't all that good last year. This season, aside from, I would say, the secondary, the defense isn't all that bad. I mean, you have Jeffrey Simmons, Harold Landry, Bud Dupree, Danico Autry all up front in the front seven. Jayon Brown, Rashaan Evans, you guys like that up front. And in the secondary, it isn't that bad. Kevin Byard at safety, one of the best safeties in the league. Janoris Jenkins they brought in, and then I believe their first round pick. No, I think it was their first round pick, Caleb Farley. It could have been their second, but I'm pretty sure it was the first. And then we already know on offense, the O-line isn't that bad, but when you have Derrick Henry, Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, Ryan Tannehill, four-headed monster, Titans are going to be very hard to stop. Offensively, Titans won't be stopped. It's that simple. The Ravens at the 4 seed, I think the Ravens will win the division. I'm higher on the Ravens than the Browns. People will question that, but I think the Ravens, they're all around the better team. I think the Browns have a better defense and a better running game, but I think the Ravens I think the Browns have a better receiving core. I think receiving core and running game. I think that's it. The Ravens have the better quarterback. The Ravens have the better. The Ravens have the better tight ends, as you see with Mark Andrews and Nick Boyle and all the guys like that. But it's very close between those teams. But I just think the Browns, I don't think Baker Mayfield's the guy. I think Baker Mayfield is a good quarterback, but I don't think he's a guy that can lift them above where they need to be. So I definitely think the Browns could win the division. But I think the Ravens I think Lamar Jackson will be able to develop his passing game better. And I think he has better weapons around him. Sammy Watkins, Rashad Bateman, Nick Boyle will be back. J.K. Dobbins is out, but Gus Edwards is a very good running back when he can be healthy and when he gets snaps. So I think he will be good. And then the defense, one of the best in the league, good front seven, great secondary. I think the Ravens will be a team to watch out for. The Browns at the 5th seed, I think it's very self-explanatory. The Browns are very good. It's just I'm questioning the defense. I don't know how it will adapt. It was decent last year. They brought in John Johnson and Troy Hill, I believe, but I just don't think that's going to do a ton. I think John Johnson will be able to be a good pass breakup or not a pass defender and a good secure tackler. I just don't think as a whole the Browns have all that good of a defense. Myles Garrett, one of the best in the league. Jadeveon Clowney's a good run stopper, but hasn't been very good since Houston. So the Browns definitely could win the division. Odell's coming off an injury. I don't know how that will play out. Jarvis Landry was injured last year. Nick Chubb was injured some of that last season. The Browns, a lot of the teams coming off of injuries, but we'll see. I think the Browns definitely could be up there and win the division. The Patriots at the 6th seed, people keep on doubting the Patriots. I mean, I think the Patriots are going to be worse than I initially thought now that Cam Newton is gone. And people will think now, why would Cam Newton make them any better? I don't think they're going to start off well. I mean, they have Jets and Saints. I think they very well could lose to the Saints. But at the same time, I think the Saints, there's a mess going on in New Orleans. Thomas is hurt. Lattimore, I believe, is dealing with some issues. But I think they will lose week 1 to the Dolphins. I think Mac Jones isn't going to win his debut. I think the Dolphins defense will be able to get in quickly to him. And I think it'll take a little bit for all those free agents and all those new additions they brought into the team to function together, and I think it will take some time to develop. And I don't think they'll all be in sync until about week 8 when they play the Chargers. But yeah, I think the Patriots, they're going to lose to the Dolphins in week 1. I think the Bucs this will be a thriller, but I think the Bucs will narrowly defeat them just because I think Tom Brady, he knows Gillette Stadium. He knows the in and outs, so I think he'll be able to pull it off. I think they'll lose to the Cowboys in week 6. I just don't think the offense is going to. I think the Cowboys' offense will just be able to overpower our defense. And I think actually I'm going to go with the Saints. I think they'll beat the Saints, or I think they'll lose to the Saints and beat the Cowboys. But yeah, that's the Patriots' prediction. And then the final playoff spot for the AFC, the Chargers. I think the Chargers. Derwin James is back. Herbert's only getting better. They brought in Jared Cook, lost Hunter Henry. They lost Casey Hayward and Desmond King, but they still have Chris Harris. And then they brought in Corey Linsley. Brian Bulaga was another year, but the O-line's going to be better. Austin Eckler's come back from injury with Derwin James. I think there are a few games they will lose. I think the Cowboys will get the best of them, the Chiefs, the Browns, the Ravens, Patriots, Vikings, and Broncos, but they will win a good amount of games. They will win 6 in a row to end the year. The Dolphins at the 8th spot right at the playoffs. I mean, these two are so close. I didn't know what one to pick, but I just think the Chargers are slightly better just because Eckler and Derwin James are coming back from injury, and I think Herbert's better than Tua. That just gave them the edge. But I think the Dolphins definitely could make the playoffs over a team like the Chargers, maybe even the Patriots. And then the Colts. The Colts could definitely be a 12-win team, 11-win team. They're super underrated, but it's just having Wentz out that long, they're not gonna do well. Jacob Eason and Sam Ehlinger will not carry them to beat the Seahawks, beat the Rams, beat the Titans, Dolphins, Ravens. The toughest part of their schedule is when Wentz is out, and the defense can't carry them, so they're gonna lose these games without a quarterback. The defense isn't good enough, and the running game isn't good enough to just hold them up. They're gonna lose these games without Wentz. So if Wentz was healthy, I think they maybe could beat the Dolphins, maybe could beat the Seahawks, maybe could beat the Ravens, but not without Wentz. Steelers down here, their secondary's gotten worse. They lost Steven Nelson, I believe. Um, they lost Steven Nelson, I'm pretty sure. Minka Fitzpatrick, a great safety. I just don't think he's good enough to carry that secondary. The front seven's amazing with Stephon Tuitt, Cam Hayward, and of course TJ Watt. And the defense is all around one of the best in the league. And I just think the offense is going to be a problem. I think Big Ben is regressing very. He's regressing. He's regressing every day. But I think overall, the Steelers just aren't all that good of a team. So I think offensively, defense will be great. Offense will struggle. So I think the Steelers 7-10, Broncos 7-10. They're a QB away from being a 9-10 win team. Got a good defense. Got good weapons around Teddy Bridgewater. I don't think Bridgewater will be bad this year. So I think they'll go 7-10. And then the Jags, Raiders, Jets, and Texans. Bengals, Jags, Raiders, and Jets all at 4-13. Texans going 1-16. Over on the NFC, the Bucks with one of the easiest schedules in the league. They'll go 15-2. I think they definitely could go 16-1. And I just think the Saints. I think they'll go 15-2. I think the Saints will just narrowly defeat them. But it all depends. I think maybe they lose week 1, but I think they'll pretty easily win that game. So I think the Bucks will go 15-2. Got a very easy schedule, and I think they'll be able to beat the opponents they need to beat. And I think it'll be fairly easy for the Buccaneers. Second in the NFC, we got the Los Angeles Rams. I'm actually going to change this up. I don't think the Saints will make the playoffs over the Cardinals. So I'm going to have the Saints losing to the Titans. And yeah, the Cardinals will make the playoffs. Okay. The Rams are just all around a really good team. They're gonna lose all their games. They're gonna lose are against their division opponents. I don't think there's any other game here that they lose other than the 49ers, Seahawks, Cardinals, and that's just because of the division rivalry. Division rivalries could go to any team at any day of the week. One day they could slaughter the Cardinals. The next they could lose. One day they could beat the Seahawks. The next day they could lose. Same thing with the 49ers. So I think 14-3 is fair. I don't think Matthew Stafford will be able to adapt quickly. So I think Matthew Stafford will be fine with a Rams jersey. I think he'll be able to. He'll have a lot of pressure on him in the playoffs, but I think the regular season he'll be fine. The Packers 13-4. The Packers, I mean, they're the same team as last year. The only addition is Randall Cobb, and they lost Corey Linsley, I believe. The O-line needs some work, but the defense is pretty good. And then all around, I think the Packers are a good team. And they still have Aaron Rodgers, so they're going to go 13-4, 12-5, around that. And then the Washington football team, 8-9. I think that's fair. They definitely could be better. I think they could. What game would they win? I can't answer that right now. But I think 8-9 as of right now, just with Ryan Fitzpatrick. The defense is good, but I don't think it's to the point where it's going to carry them to a 10 wins. But I think they'll still win the division because I think everyone else is going to struggle. Giants, Cowboys, and then Eagles down there. The Seahawks, 11-6. They still got Russell Wilson, still got Metcalf and Lockett. Still one of the most electrifying offenses in the league. They're going to be here for a while. The Vikings, with all their defensive players returning, Michael Pierce, Danielle Hunter, Anthony Barr. They brought in Bashad Breeland and Patrick Peterson. They drafted the offensive line in the draft. They got some O linemen in the draft. The Vikings are going to be a good team. And Kirk Cousins isn't bad either. He's actually a pretty decent quarterback. And then Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, two great receivers. I think Irv Smith will finally get a shot to be good this year. And then the Cardinals at 9-8. I think that's very fair. The Cardinals, they definitely could be better. They could beat the Colts, sweep the 49ers. I could and maybe beat the Cowboys. But I just think the coaching is really going to affect them. I mean, I think they were very close to going 9-8 last year, or very close to making the playoffs last year and go getting 9 wins. But the coaching is going to help hurt them. The play calling very bad. So I think if maybe Cliff Kingsbury has a better year as a coach, they could win 10, 11 games. But right now with Cliff Kingsbury, 9-8 is fair. I think he will be fired at the end of the year. 49ers 9-8. I just think they're kind of overrated. I mean, the 49ers, they had most of their injured players back by midseason, except for guys like George Kittle and Nick Bosa, and Jimmy Garoppolo was on and off. But I think the 49ers definitely could make the playoffs, but I just don't see it. I think there are better teams out there. Saints 8-9, they have a lot going on. I mean, if Marquez Callaway and Traquan Smith both have great seasons, Saints could be good. But without Michael Thomas for a little bit, without Marshawn Lattimore and famous Jameis Winston not having that many weapons outside of Kamara, it's going to be hard for the Saints to be a good team, especially without Jared Cook and Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders and all those good players. I think the Saints will have a bounce back year though in 2022, not this season though. The Bears 8-9. I think it's just going to hurt them that they're starting Dalton. I mean, I think they lose this Bengals game honestly because Andy Dalton. They're gonna get creamed by the Rams because Dalton's playing. They're gonna lose to the Bengals because Dalton's playing, and then I think they're gonna force Fields in this game, and Fields isn't gonna do well, and they're gonna lose. And then they kind of do better, but I think 7-10 just because Dalton started and they got off to a rough start. A rough 0-3 start with Dalton as a starter. I think Fields should start. I think they would win this game with Fields, but I think Dalton, as of right now, will be the starter. Giants 7-10, kind of overrated. Daniel Jones will be replaced after this season, I believe. The defense is quite underrated, but the offense, it just isn't that all that good. Saquon's going to be out for a quarter of the season, I believe. And then the weapons all around aren't that great. Kenny Galladay has a hard time staying healthy, and Darius Slayton, he's all right. Sterling Shepard, he's all right. So Evan Ingram drops the ball a lot. So the Giants, they could be better than 7-10, but I don't see it. Panthers 7-10. I think the Panthers could be like a 9-win, 10-win team. It just all relies on how Darnold does. But I think that I'm really excited for the Panthers for the future. They got a really bright future with McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Sam Darnold if he does well. And then on defense, you got Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, Shaq Thompson, Jeremy Chin, Derek Brown. So many young, good players on the Panthers. And by the way, I'm going to the Patriots-Panthers game week 9, so I will be doing a vlog for that. But the Panthers are going to be a fun team to watch, and they're going to be very good in a few years. Falcons, without Julio and without that defense and with Matt Ryan regressing, they're going to have a hard year. 5-12 is what I think. Just Matt Ryan's getting older. Julio's gone. So the Falcons, I don't know. I think they'll be 5-12 around there. And then the Eagles 4-13 and the Lions 1-16. All right, coming in to the playoffs, we got the Browns, Ravens, Patriots, Titans, Bills, Chargers. I'm going to go through this really quickly and not explain it that much because a lot of people are going to be surprised. I'm going to go. That's my predictions. I think the Ravens, Titans, and Bills will win. The Ravens, I think Lamar will finally take that step to be clutch in the playoffs, and I think the defense will play great. The Titans, I love the Patriots. They're my favorite team. But four-headed monster. Tannehill, Brown, Henry, and Jones. You can't stop that. I think the defense will be better. But the Patriots' years to come with Mac, I think in his first season, Mac Jones bringing us to the playoffs is a success. Bills, Chargers, Bills. And then the Seahawks, Packers, Rams. I think the Seahawks will overpower the football team, especially since they don't have really a quarterback. Fitzmagic is I like Fitzmagic, but he's just not going to be enough in the playoffs. And then I know what people are thinking. People are thinking I do this. But I'm not being plain. I'm being taking risks. And you guys got it right. I'm picking the Bucs and the Rams. The Seahawks aren't going to win a game in the playoffs. I mean, they're just not all that good of a team. They got about 5-star players. They got Adams, Bobby Wagner, Lockett, Metcalf, and Russell Wilson. That's it. And then they have Chris Carson, who's decent. Quandre Diggs is decent. They lost Shaquille Griffin. The Seahawks aren't going to do it this season unless they make a move to. They need to focus on getting more depth instead of just getting another star player. Like they didn't need Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams is good, but they needed a cornerback. They needed O-line help. They need a running back. Chris Carson, he's decent, but he's hurt a lot. And then the Packers, I think it's the last dance. I think the Packers are done. I think Rodgers will be gone, and I think Adams will be gone. And I think in the future, the Packers will be Jordan Love and Amari Rodgers. I'm sorry, Packers fans. It's just what I think. And then the Bills and the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I don't think they're going to a third straight Super Bowl. I just don't think it happens. And the Bills, if they were playing the Ravens, the Bills would win 100%. But they're playing the Titans. The defense is not going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. And if they win, if the run game works, the Titans will run the ball down the Bills' throats. If it doesn't, they're going to throw it to Jones or they're going to throw it to Brown. It's OP. It's overpowered. It's just unstoppable. And I think the Ravens finally will be able to defeat the Chiefs. I think Lamar Jackson will finally take that step and beat the Chiefs. I think the defense will hold them off. And I think it will be a low-scoring defensive game. And I think it will be 23-20. Ravens win. And then the conference championships, Ravens, Titans, Bucks, Rams. I don't think Matthew Stafford in his first season on a good team is winning the Super Bowl or going to the Super Bowl. I think Tom Brady, he has too much help on that team. Amazing defense. And then, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, O.J. Howard, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. Great O-line, too much. The Bucks are. It's not fair. All right, it's not fair. And then the Ravens and the Titans. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I think the Ravens defense will be able to shut down the Titans. I think it's gonna be very difficult, but I think Marcus Peters will probably be on A.J. Brown, and Marlon Humphrey will be on Julio. And then they're going to have Calais Campbell and Patrick Queen and all the guys up front getting Henry. So I think they'll be able to handle the Titans more than a team like the Chiefs or the Bills would be able to. So I think the Ravens and the Buccaneers will be the Super Bowl, and I'm taking no, I'm just kidding. The Bucs are winning the Super Bowl. Call me crazy. The Bucs are going back to back. They're too overpowered. Lamar can run the ball he wants. It's going to be a remake of Super Bowl 55 when Mahomes is running for his life. Now I know Lamar's faster, but Lamar's not going to be. They're not going to beat the Bucs. The Bucs are too good, and the Ravens. The Ravens are they don't have enough. They need. I would say the Ravens could win this game if they had another really good blitz defensive end to replace Matt Judon, and if they had a superstar receiver. The Ravens, if they had Julio Jones, I would probably take the Ravens. But right now, I'm taking the Buccaneers. They're too good, and I think the Bucs would win 35-23. And the Bucs go back to back. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the bracket. If you did enjoy, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.